Hi, this is Rainbow Harmony here to help you find balance and peace to live a more colorful life. And welcome back to my channel. In today's pick a card reading, we're going to be doing another really long, relaxing, in-depth reading with a tarot spread so that you can pull cards with me. And the topic is on being in hermit mode. So this is a reading for those of you guys who feel like maybe you've had to pull back recently, maybe like unplug a little bit, go quiet. If you've been ghosting everybody you know, if you've just been going into work and like keeping your head down, maybe you've been calling off a lot, maybe you quit your job, maybe you were just in between things, maybe you just finished school and you're looking to get into your industry. Maybe you've recently gone on the other side of like a divorce or a breakup, unfortunately, or maybe some other type of like grieving process or death process in your life. You could have found yourself in this hermit mode or in this time of solitude and introspection for so many reasons. Sometimes it's something that you consciously choose to go into, like me when I recently had my baby and went through postpartum. I knew I needed to hermit and I needed to pull back and just focus on my baby. So sometimes there's things like that where you have it planned and you're like, I need to pull back, I need to hermit, I need to just focus on this or just focus on me. Other times it kind of hits you by surprise. Maybe you're going through just a very difficult time. Maybe it's a depression that kind of creeped up on you. Perhaps it was your health or a physical injury that caused you to need to pull back a little bit. But pulling back isn't always a bad thing, okay? We don't need to constantly be fixing ourselves or improving ourselves or being productive, pushing ourselves out into the spotlight. Definitely check out the video I made recently called How to Heal Your Feminine Energy. It was all about slowing down, allowing yourself to honor the natural cycles and seasons in your life. But yes, this reading today is going to help you find clarity about what this season of your life is about. So the title is They Think You've Disappeared, but here is what's really happening. And we're going to be looking into why you vanished. Why did you vanish? So if you'd like to pull these cards along with me, I made this tarot spread for you guys. So go ahead and take a screenshot, relax, ground yourself, pull cards along with me. We're going to be looking into what triggered your withdrawal. So what was it that happened, or maybe what fell apart, or what led to you needing to be in this hermit season and withdrawal and pull back? Keep in mind, this is a general reading, so it may not resonate with everyone, but I'm really hoping that you'll be guided to choose the right crystal here or card so that the message will be more personalized towards you. Next, we're going to look into what are you meant to learn in this solitude? So these times where you pull back and you go within can be so transformative and healing, and you really can learn so much because you're more quiet, you're able to listen to your inner self. We need these times to be able to create space and listen to our intuition and follow our inner guidance. Next, we'll look into what wisdom are you meant to share. So oftentimes what you're going through during these difficult times or times where you need to pull back, you will receive wisdom that when you come back out in the light or in the spotlight, or maybe it's a personal spring in your life, you're blossoming, blooming, growing, you'll be able to share what you've learned with others. So we'll look into that. And then finally, we're going to look into what will your life look like once you return? So once you feel like coming out of hiding and coming out of hermit mode, what will your life look like? I do want to add that even though this is a timeless reading, at the time that I'm doing this reading, we are right in a new moon in Gemini, which is all about planning, big ideas, getting things going, putting out some bold steps forward. So it's a really great time to manifest, and it is a really good time to come out of hermit mode. So if you're someone who feels like you're just coming out, or you've been coming out of hermit mode for a while, this reading can help you kind of look back on it. So whether you're just entering into this time or you're coming out of it, I hope this reading will resonate with you. So simply choose a card that you feel drawn to the most. You can choose number 1 from left to right, so number 1, number 2, or number 3. Once you have chosen, you can head down below to the comment and the descriptions where the timestamps are posted, and you can just click on your timestamp and instantly be fast forwarded to your part in the reading. And I will see you for your reading soon. For those of you guys who chose number 1, let's get into this spread. We've got a lot of ground to cover here. I have your first card that you chose, and then I'm going to freestyle pull some more cards for you as well. So the first part of the spread, what triggered your withdrawal? So why did you pull away? Why did you go into this hermit mode? And we're getting the card tired. You guys, I swear this card came out. I did not cherry pick it. You can't make this stuff up. There are messages here that you're tired, and that's why you've gone into hermit mode. That makes a lot of sense. Something coming up here about time, connection. Yeah. I mean, I'm already getting the impression that some of this was caused by perhaps a love situation. You know, I'm looking into these cards. Yeah, look, love. You might have fallen in love with someone. You really cared about someone. You needed time to heal this connection. You needed to release it. And yeah, now you're like overthinking your future. So you needed some time, you needed some space. You know, it feels like something is like missing, maybe. Interesting. I want to get some more information here, but overall this is telling me that there's a love situation here, that you really cared about this person. Maybe you have to replan some things. I know after you break up with someone, I remember my last breakup was a really long time ago, but I do remember how not only do you mourn the loss of the person that you were with, but you mourn the dreams and the plans that you had with this person, because you start thinking about your life in terms of them. You think, okay, so we're gonna maybe get married and we'll go here and we'll do this. And like, you just have this beautiful version of your life with this person. Of course, you're in love with them and you wanna project that positivity forward. I always tell my clients, my coaching clients, put yourself first, you know, focus on yourself, even in a relationship, have your independence so that if something happened, God forbid, you still have your sense of identity. You still, you know, can have a path that you can travel in your life that's not so codependent on another person. But I just think naturally it's okay to be interdependent in relationships, and naturally you're going to want to plan your life and your future in terms of that person. And that's what can just be so frustrating and so shocking and upsetting, is you break up with them or they leave your life, or the idea of like what could have been, it all just shatters. And yes, there's a loss of identity, and it's like, who am I and like where do I go now? So I'm sensing you were tired. You're tired in your love life. It could be some of you guys just tired of dating. Like, I can't do this anymore. Maybe you were on the dating apps, you're just getting burned a lot. It's like you needed to hermit until you're like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, no more love for me, no more dating. I'm not messaging anybody. It's like you're ghosting your F buddy. you're just, maybe you stopped talking to your ex. Maybe you got in this breakup and you needed some time to just think and be on your own. You know, for some of you guys, this could have even been cutting out codependent connections. If the love thing doesn't resonate, it could be you were spending a lot of time with your bestie or like your group of friends or your coworkers or something, and you've just been letting the texts come through. You're not answering them. You know, maybe they're asking you to pick up extra shifts, or maybe you're getting phone calls. I just keep seeing like you're not, you know, answering messages, you're not making plans, needing to spend your time outside of work or school just doing you, and it's like you're actively avoiding other people. And part of it's because, you know, you've been burned a little. Yeah, look at that. 5 of Swords. You know, the 5 of Swords isn't a horrible card, but it is talking about, it is very much a where do I go from here? You get the sense that it's like, where did he get all these swords from? Did he steal them? Is he using them on someone? The picture, the story that's being created here is someone who's been through a lot. They fought a lot of battles. I think of these swords as like, you know, situations that have been conquered. And this person's just tired and needs time to lay down the swords, needs time to like almost be like, I'm not going to fight right now. I'm not going to push anything hard right now. I'm not going to focus on being productive. I'm just going to do me. And then we see these two figures in the background. This could be two men, maybe two people you were talking with, flirting with, two failed relationships, something like that. We see these clouds here. They are parting, so it's a message that the confusion or the overthinking about the future, the depression, will end soon, but it's really a moment in your life to take stock of where you're at and where you want to go. And then look, more clarity about what ended you in this situation, just like fights, chaos, arguments, like butting heads with people, not getting along. It might not be your fault. I mean, look, if you're the common denominator, but it could just be a message you need to look elsewhere for love, or you need to settle yourself and focus on your goals and your vibration, and then you can bring other people and more stuff in. I've been through that in my life, honestly, times where I realized, okay, I am not in a good flow right now. Like, I'm not manifesting things. I'm upset. My body's breaking down. I'm having conflict with people around me. Sometimes you realize, okay, I'm the problem, I'm the chaos. I need to ground, and you got to take it back to basics. Focus on getting good sleep, focus on eating healthy, focus on, let those calls, those texts, the people trying to get your energy, just push them off a little and get grounded, nourishment, listening to uplifting podcasts, maybe just take a break from even, fear-based media, intense music, put on the crystal bowls, get your feet in the dirt, ground yourself a little bit. Doesn't mean you can't watch your true crime, or you can't gossip with your bestie, or you can't go out and, whatever, have some fun, but sometimes it's just too much. It's like too much toxicity, it's too much productivity, it's too much intensity, and we just carry it around and tornado it everywhere. So if you realize that you're tornadoing, or you're attracting people that are like tornadoing in your life, yeah, sometimes you really got to find your grounding and your footing, and be that calm in the storm, and things will anchor yourself basically, and then things will settle around you. So yeah, I'm already getting downloads. I'm getting so sucked into this, but let's move on to what are you meant to learn in this solitude? So what are you meant to learn? So it could have been a breakup or a loss, just being tired, lots of chaos around you that caused you to need to go hermit. Now that you're in this hermit mode, you vanished. What are you meant to learn? Okay, so they're saying you're not going to be in hermit mode forever. You are actually being prepared right now. This hermit mode, yes, it is helping you rest, and being tired, exhausted is what led you here. But it's not really what this period in your life is for. I'm honestly a little shocked. You have a message to share with the world. You have something to share with other people. And this literally could be using your voice. It could be speaking. It doesn't have to necessarily be something like this. We're doing tarot, we're speaking about spirituality or lifestyle or whatever. It could just be talking about one of your special interests. It could be something educational. It could be something in your work. It could have to do with your gifts, talents, passions, hobbies, routines, something that you're, really gifted with. But you will come out and people will see you as like an authority on this subject. They will want to learn from you. They might even want to hire you. I just see knowledge, I see expertise, and then I see the star, which says you're going to be in the public eye. So this could be literally up on stage, giving talks, giving presentations. This could be something that's published. This could be something that's online. It could happen through your social media, like your TikTok or YouTube or something like that. But I see a crowd of people. So you're going to be up in front of these people. You're getting prepared. It's like you need to hermit and go within because this time of solitude is teaching you how to gain the confidence and courage to come out and offer, what you have. Because right now you have your armor on. I think it's all of these, I just keep going back to all these people, this crowd, this noise, these people you were dating. Like, it almost feels like you're just having a difficult time finding someone or finding some people who will understand you. And maybe it's not really about other people understanding you. Maybe it's about you understanding yourself right now. Overthinking, you want to find out what your desires are. I see here that people are attracted to you. You're constantly going to have tons of people coming into your life. I feel like a Leo energy here, or a fire energy, like people just like being attracted to you like a moth and a flame. Or maybe it's an Aquarius energy, different, stand out, so individual. People want to see what that's all about. They want to copy you. I even see the Geminis in here. Geminis being super flirty and not really realizing it and just attracting all this attention. I see my Pisces in here. You guys are such dreamers, and you're so vulnerable and so empathetic and so open, and people feel so natural to just tell you their whole life story. I see my Scorpios in here. You guys are different. You're mysterious. You have really good style. People always want to know, like, what music are you listening to? What concerts, what shows have you been to? What movies are you watching? I just see a lot of you guys who picked this one have a very infectious type of personality. And we see that you were given like this magnetism because you're supposed to be the star here. And you've been the star at different phases in your life. But yes, it's been a long period of hermiting, coming within, because it's like got you in trouble in the past. Just how bright and shiny and sparkly and dazzling you are. And especially in your love life, in romantic relationships, it feels like you've almost been targeted. It's like you tend to attract men or people who see the light in you, and it's like they kind of want to snuff it out. They might be a little jealous of how brightly you shine or sparkle. They might be kind of obsessed with like trying to tame you, So I just see like, that you need to protect your heart. That like it's very valuable, and that you want to protect your gifts. There's a lot of protection here, but we have to make sure that we don't protect ourselves too hard, that our shell, like we're not like a turtle, hiding in our shell. We have to come out of the shell. I think it's interesting. Turtles are often seen as a sign of abundance and money. I remember I went to like go to the eye doctor to like get my eyes checked, and the whole lobby was like decorated in turtles, and I was like, oh, they know what's up. They're using the turtle spirit animal. That's obviously for good fortune and prosperity and good energy with money. They're doing the feng shui. They're getting into it. You know what I mean? But the interesting thing about the turtle is that, it's got its shell, but, it has to pop out of the shell to get stuff done, So this is a message. You need to, maybe you're going to have a lot of prosperity around you, but just like the turtle, you got to come out of your shell. You can go slow like the turtle, but, you got to come out of your shell. So I think this time is like teaching you how to call back your power, and then how to be able to launch yourself. Because I think at multiple times in your life, you're going to find yourself back here. You're going to find yourself back in these hermit modes. It's so that you can get the courage, you can get organized, launch yourself back out there. This is all about victory. And then this to me seems to say that you're going to find oh, I'm getting chills. Ooh, I'm getting chills now. This must be the message. You are going to find somebody who is like balanced with you. Like you're gonna give someone your heart, they're gonna give you theirs. This paints a really clear picture for me. It just hasn't been a match yet. Be careful out there. There are people who want to dull your sparkle, and sometimes just getting real about that helps give you the confidence to get back out there. And don't be scared. Don't be too afraid of it. It is scary when you're like, oh my God, I'm so vulnerable. I'm an empath and highly sensitive person, and yeah, I have attracted a lot of narcissists or crazy people, and like it's been chaotic, and it's like after a while you just feel like I don't want to mess with people anymore. But You're meant to work with others. You're meant to like be a performer or speaker. Just keep seeing you use your words, maybe a guide for other people, counselor. I also see it's just artist, an artist shining. Lots of people watching here, but you're going to be victorious, but it really is. There's a lot of fear about the perception of others, which we all deal with. I feel like I need a clarifier, honestly, about, what are you meant to learn in this solitude? So you're having a difficult time. This didn't really answer my question, but I just feel like someone needs to hear this, because this is making me think how somebody was overthinking their future and you're trying to make like decisions. And earlier there was a message about like just not knowing what your future was going to be or what you're supposed to do now that this person isn't in your life, or that your path is forked and it isn't going the way you thought. And you're just so tired, and there's like a lot of chaos with people, a lot of relationships that have left your life, and now you're hermiting and trying to make these new plans. It feels a little confusing, and you're getting good messages about your future and how you're learning how to get your energy together and launch yourself back out. But yeah, you've been thinking a lot about your future, and they're saying that, this might be an important decision for you to make around potentially some travel. You are magnetizing travel, is what they're saying. Travel rewards. It's almost like you didn't have to go through all that crap for nothing. That person didn't break your heart for nothing. You might decide now that you're on the other side of this. You get your strength. You're going to get back out there. You're going to eat, pray, love. You're going to go explore, travel, maybe move somewhere new. Maybe it's just a little vacation or weekend trip you take into nature that helps you get grounded. But they're saying this is important. This is an important decision. If you've been thinking about making this choice regarding travel, it's coming. You're magnetizing it to you. That's exciting. I just keep getting a message about you learning how to call your energy back and launch yourself back out in the world, and just shake off those opinions of all those people, people from your past, old coworkers, old exes. Just, you might have your own little group of haters at this point, but you got to leave those people in the dust, because you're running so fast. You're so far ahead of them now. You're so far ahead of that. You need to evolve and allow some people to stay stuck where they are, What wisdom are you meant to share with others? If you're going through this time of introspection and going within, chances are you've got a lot to share with other people. You're not here for no reason. It's crazy. I got this really weird injury when I was pregnant recently. And it's like such a whole thing. I can't even talk about it. But I had a friend recently, I told her about it when I was going through it. And then she reached out and told me that she had a similar injury recently. And it was so crazy. I feel so bad for her. I really hope she's going to be better. But I just thought, wow, I just got to share my experience, what I went through, and that was so healing for me and so healing for her. I was able to give her some advice and lift her up and tell her it's not going to last forever. I was able to tell her all the things I feel like I needed to hear when I was going through it. Something about that was just so healing, and it made me feel like I didn't go through it for no reason. At least you can help someone. I always say, if you've made it out of a crazy difficult time, obviously just be in the present, move forward, live your life, and just let it go. But sometimes you're meant to help the others. Sometimes you need to leave the path better than you found it, or open a door for someone. Some of us in this life, we are pathfinders. We are way showers. We are creating lives. We are creating lifestyles that have never been done before. So we're actually going through that jungle, that forest with a machete, and we're cutting stuff down. It's a painful process, but we're the ones who are carving the path. We're doing unique things. We're pushing that path so that other people can follow behind us. And that's a beautiful thing, So you're cutting this difficult path, but people are going to be able to learn from what you've been through, whether it's just the people around you or maybe people that you will be sharing your knowledge with in some way in the future, you know? So what you're meant to share. Forgiveness, healing. Yes, there's a lot of anger towards that person or those people. I was really focusing on these cards and the breakup that came up at the beginning of the reading or something about that. And it did feel like a heavy energy. It catapulted you into this time of hermit mode. But through all of this, you are finding healing. You are finding forgiveness. Forgiveness is weird. You know, I've had some really horrible abusive things people have done to me in this life where I'm just like, the word forgiveness I just can't. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm still working on it or something, but I think it's because I was brought up to believe like forgive and forget. That forgiveness means you need to like allow that person to keep doing what they're doing and to just let it slide. Basically allow them to still stay in your life. Forgive them, get over it, basically. But I don't think that's what forgiveness truly means. I've come to understand it as forgiveness means freeing yourself from the guilt and the shame that was projected onto you through, the situation, whatever happened. A lot of times when we have a breakup or we lose someone or something, or we get fired from our job or get out of a toxic work situation or just have someone screw us over. Yes, we're upset at those people and we're so mad, but oftentimes it's more like a self-hate or like a guilt or a shame because maybe we just don't like that person or that group of people were able to do that to us. Sometimes we feel like I could have done this, I should have done this, why didn't I do that? It's just feeling like you don't have closure or you're unresolved or you wish there was like something you could do to kind of wrap it up or contain it or maybe to feel a sense of control around it or whatever happened. There are some things that happen in our life that are out of control and people can judge you for whatever's happened or whatever happened with these people, this person, this relationship, these situations, these events. Sometimes we just don't like feeling like we have to carry the shame or the guilt that this happened or whatever. But you don't have to let it define you. It's something one of my friends told me a long time ago when I was just sharing some stuff in my life that happened. They said, you don't have to let it define you. And that's really stayed with me. I think for you, you're going to be sharing with people about how this chapter of your life and what you went through that led you to this hermit mode, it's not defining you. You're finding your forgiveness. You're finding your healing. Maybe you're finding forgiveness through yourself. You're not allowing this to be something that controls you anymore. It's not the first thing on your mind. The first week or two after a breakup, it's all you can think about. You can't even eat, you can't even sleep. It's so difficult. There comes a point, sometimes you get mad at God or mad at the universe or just mad at this world, this planet, this earth, because everything's just so messed up and it's so dark and it's so chaotic and, you get this, you can really spiral down. But you start thinking more about the infinite nature of life in this world and how everything kind of cycles or recycles back into itself. And you start feeling a little bit better because in the grand scheme of things, you can choose peace. In the grand scheme of things, time passes and you move on. You've been through a lot in your life and you've gotten through some really horrible things and you've been transformed through it all. That's what life's all about. You get to decide what this story is. If it's like a redeeming, beautiful story of life, or maybe it's a intoxicating special romance, or if it's a tragedy, or if it's a horror movie. So if you've been living your life on horror movie mode, then it's time to slow down. They're saying this season of your life has a purpose and you're going to be sharing that with other people too. You're going to start telling people you're going through this for a reason. I told my friend that, because I look back and I realized that injury I got, man, I went through that for a reason. I really did. I decided to think that I went through that for a reason. That's the way I choose to believe. You get to choose if everything's just meaningless or if you're going to create purpose out of the things that happen in your life, and if you're going to turn it into something good, like an alchemist, you know. You will be helping and healing and educating other people on stuff like this. You're going to teach them how to release. Other people in your life might see everything you lost or everything you had to let go, or this relationship you let go of. They're going to see you fly so high. They're going to see you flow like water. They're going to see everything coming to you because you made space. You let go. You made the difficult decision, the difficult choice. You might inspire other people to do the same. There's been times in my life where I made a really big decision, I made big changes, and then I watched as people close to me also made big changes. And sometimes I thought, I wonder if it's because they saw me do that, you know? And other times, you know, I've seen some of my friends do something big or take a big risk, and it made me feel inspired, like, you know, if they can do it, maybe I can do it too, you know? So you're a living example, you're a walking example. So finally, what will your life look like once you return? So once you're out of this hermit mode and you're moving forward, maybe you're traveling like the card said, you're manifesting things, you're being social again, you're making big moves in life, you're like really getting stuff done. What is that going to look like for you? What will your life look like for you? Look at this, gifts of money, time, effort, new career opportunities, receiving loans, paying off debts. This is a big money card for sure. This is like money coming in, money coming in. I actually pulled this card a few months back and I was like, ooh, more money coming in. And like, I got a big windfall. Like this card's on point. I know if you're getting it, that means that some good energy is coming in, money's coming in, abundance is coming in. You might be thinking, where's the money going to come for travel? Or maybe you've called off a lot of work because you've just been like a hermit, or you're in between jobs. You literally hermited by being like, I'm not going out in the world at all right now, or who knows. You might be wondering, how am I going to get back on top? This is just a message. The money's going to work out. I'm not always that tarot reader that's going to sugarcoat and be like, oh, your soulmate loves you and you're going to have lots of money and be famous. I don't do that. So when I feel it like this, a big energy, just know like things are really going to change. It has something to do with, gosh, I can't remember. I've been like looking at astrology, but basically there's some big conjunction, something that's happening with Pluto coming up, and it's definitely going to be good financially for a lot of people. Ego, it seems like you're going to have your ego more under control. The ego runs through fear. It's just the reptilian brain, our little reptile part of our brain that's trying to keep us safe, trying to keep us on top, trying to survive. And I think we need it to a certain extent. It's not about completely obliterating ego. If you ever meet one of those people who thinks that they have no ego, or that they've just evolved and transcended higher than you or whatever, funny enough, those people are usually the most egotistical of all. But it takes a lot of, it's just not a way to live, and it's not practical. And, you know, I think it's okay to let your ego do its thing. But this is saying right now, yes, you are very much an ego, and it's more just a feeling of vulnerability and, like this card says, a false sense of entrapment. So you're going to feel a lot more free, financial freedom, and not feeling so trapped anymore, feeling like you have your ego tamed. You're able to kind of, in your mind, maybe calm and self-soothe a little bit more some of the anxious or fearful thoughts. Maybe they've been running out of control, and that's part of why you're just pulling back a little to ground yourself. But you're going to get your feet clearly on the ground. It won't be so much fear-based. Next, on the other side, once you return, it seems like, once again, this opportunity to be respected. I like how it says cultured here, because I got this impression earlier when I saw the High Priestess card, that you would be, once again, in front of a crowd or on stage, or being celebrated or being seen, or like lots of views, followers, something like that. So, and this is talking about charity work or giving advice to others. But once again, it could just be sharing art, maybe sharing your experience. But it seems like that's what you're going to be doing on the other side of this. You're getting prepared to come out in a new way in this life. You've been struggling with being unable or unwilling to make a decision. Remember, we got that card earlier about you overthinking your future, but they're saying not to worry because you're going to be making decisions. You're going to be feeling like you can trust your heart, like you can make that choice, and your logic can help you follow through with the steps. So give yourself some time and patience. You'll know when it's time to come back out. You're gaining your strength, calling your power back to you, and kind of stamping out the voices, opinions, thoughts of other people, clearing other people's energy from yourself and your aura, like old thoughts, old opinions, letting go of the old ideas of like who you thought you were, who you thought you're supposed to be, the version of you other people kind of hold in their mind. You're distancing yourself from all that so that you can become a greater version of yourself, maybe a more authentic version of yourself, or maybe it's just more like coming back to yourself. So, wow, so much going on here. It feels so complex, but I think it's really simple at the end of the day. Just take it one day, one step at a time. I hope this resonated with you, and I will see you next time. Peace out. For those of you guys who choose number 2, I have your card right here. I'm so excited to get into this spread for you. We're going to start with the card that you chose, and then I will freestyle pull some more cards for you as we go through the spread. So the first part of the spread is what triggered your withdrawal. So what triggered you to go into this hermit mode, into this time of solitude? Like what happened that caused you to be here at this time, hermiting, pulling back. And we got the organized card. So of course I'm going to need some clarifiers here, but I think that's really interesting that you felt the need to be more organized, felt the need to, spark. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, oftentimes when we're having a hermit mode, something will push us to that point of needing to pull back. There's something here about a betrayal coming up with friendship, feeling like you can't really trust people anymore. It's funny because at first I felt like a very positive energy about how you're feeling really inspired and you feel like you need time to pull back, hermit a little bit so that you can get organized. And it's like you don't plan on being here for long. You don't plan on hermiting. Maybe you even clicked on this because you're like, I'm not really hermiting, or I don't know if I am, but I still want to watch the reading. Maybe you're like just coming out. I feel like this is something that you've either been in for a while or it will not be very long. So don't worry, okay? And this right here could have happened a while ago, but it does say something about how you were struggling a little bit with trust in relationships because you've been betrayed a lot, and someone that was a close friend. It could even be a family member I'm getting for some of you guys. Something about like a female cousin is coming up, or like a sister. But yeah, just take whatever resonates. But you were struggling a little bit with just trust and friendships. Yeah, it's like I get a message that you feel like your time was wasted by this person. You feel like you were doing a lot of emotional labor surrounding this person. And maybe they said that they wanted to start a business with you, or that they wanted to support you, or you guys were like gonna go on this plan or something together. And so it's like you waited for them, or you tried to help them, or you guys were just distracting each other. Because this right here makes me feel like someone was a huge distraction. They were obviously in your life for a reason, and you learned a lot. But yeah, look, regrets. It's like you're just at this time in your life where you want to live with such purpose. And you are so excited and so on fire, and you have some good ideas. You want to get organized and you want to just pull back. And it's like I see you with your laptop and a notebook, and maybe you're back in school, or maybe you're just working really hard on your business or your career, and just things are getting organized all around you. You're getting in your flow. I see that. But what caused you to be here was just feeling a lot of regret in your relationships and feeling like I need to be independent. So for you, it was conscious. It was very much like I'm not making any new friends at this time in my life. I'm saying goodbye to these relationships, or I'm only keeping my close group or my family around me right now. This isn't a time where I'm dating or, trying to go out there. Yeah, it's very much about being independent. And you wanted to have fun. It's like whoever this person or these people were around you, they were just draining your energy. They were just sucking you down. It's like a lot of depression. And it's like, look, we want to be there for our friends and people that are going through hard times. But sometimes it can rub off and you have to distance yourself. And if someone's not going to allow, like for me, I try really hard to make sure if I'm going through a difficult time that I communicate that to, I've learned to do this. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I communicate that to whoever's around me, and I'm like honest about if I'm able to like show up or be, really present in their life during the time. Because I deal with chronic depression, and if a friend of mine is celebrating something amazing, while my life is falling apart or something difficult's happening or I'm struggling, like I try really hard to make sure I still celebrate that person. And like, if I make that commitment to show up, I show up, and you know what I mean? Like I want to, because that's what I want. I would want my friends, even if they're going through a hard time, to celebrate me. Unless there was like a death or something, something extreme. But those people who just, they can't celebrate you. It's always about them. Exhausting type of relationship, not able to be playful with you like ever, constantly in crisis mode, constantly overworked, tired, just a lot of us are, but it's just maybe you're feeling like right now you just can't really be a good friend too. But I don't know, it just feels like you're feeling more playful and you want to move forward. You want to move on to relationships that are more fun, that are more, have healthier boundaries, that are more in the moment, that are more exciting, that, are more, playful and adventurous. It feels like this just yucky old energy, somebody talking behind your back, or kind of, I don't know, it just feels rough. Feels like you had to say goodbye, and maybe you were always thinking I'd have to move away from these group of people or stop talking to this person, or we were going to have falling out. But Spirit's saying just trust your intuition on this timing. It was meant to happen now. You're meant to be focusing on yourself, because that wasn't your energy. That was their nasty, dusty, crusty energy. Sometimes you kick someone out of your life and then you realize how peaceful it is. And you're like, oh my God, that person was just sucking me down into, despair. You got to take responsibility for your part in relationships and your codependency, how you attracted that, blah, blah, blah. But, we meet so many people in this life, we learn things, but we got to learn how to keep it moving too. So it seems just that's what triggered your withdrawal. But your energy looks good. Let's move on. I'm getting sucked into that dusty energy. What are you meant to learn in this solitude? I think this is a little clue. It's like you're going to move forward through having fun and playing. As you're pulling back, I also feel like you're taking a break from working so hard too. You might be in a transition between jobs. You might have decided to quit like something, like maybe you decided you're going to start a nail business, and then you did it for a little bit and then you kind of fell off, and now you just deleted your whole account. You're like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to like just have some fun, find myself, and like get organized and start something else. It's like, I do want to start something, but it just wasn't this. That wasn't it. That wasn't my niche. That wasn't what I wanted to focus on. It seems like you're going to be playing a lot, enjoying yourself, trying new things. You're not trying to put yourself in a box anymore with just picking this one thing. You're exploring a little bit. But you don't just want to run off and get lost and 5 years go down the road and you haven't gotten any seeds planted. So I see where you're at right now. You've been feeling a little apathetic, and maybe you clicked on this reading because you're really looking for answers, and I sincerely hope you find them. What are you learning? What are you learning from this time of solitude? Yep, there you are, dreaming, looking up at the stars, having a little extra time, twiddling your thumbs. Space is created. This person or these people aren't wasting your time anymore. And it seems like you're thinking a lot about wanting to start a family or fall in love, or maybe this is about welcoming another child into your life, or maybe it's just being a better parent, focusing more on your family, falling back in love with your partner or your spouse. I think this is about, it's funny because as far as what you're supposed to learn in this solitude, I think you're supposed to be honoring your roots. I just get this message that your family, your home, the people that are the closest to you, they make or break you. And I think whoever this person was that was allowed into your life for so long, who betrayed you and just brought a lot of despair, like you're feeling so much more peace now. It's like you can just relax, you can rest, and you can refocus on your family and your roots. This is also your habits, your daily routine. When I look back here at this organize, I feel like you're literally coming up with a schedule. Like I wake up at this time, I do this activity in the morning. You know, you might even be meal planning. Like I keep seeing you going to bed early, getting up earlier. You're giving yourself, you know, maybe some time to sit down at your desk. Like maybe you're making a workspace and you're writing out your business plan, or you're drafting up your content ideas, or you're doing the homework. So I just feel like during this time you're supposed to learn how to organize and honor your roots, work on the foundation in your life, connect with the family. I mean, if there's like no romantic interest in your life, this could say that this could be a message that that friend or that person's out of your life and you're hermiting and things have come to a standstill because like you're getting ready to call in something. You're basically getting ready to manifest a soulmate. So space needed to be created and your longing and your wishes are coming out. You could be just about to manifest something big, like this card right here. So I definitely get that feeling like something's coming in and it's very different. So what wisdom are you meant to share? Oftentimes when we go through these difficult times in our life or these hermit times, we kind of go down and we dive to the depths so that we could get those pearls of wisdom and bring them up to other people. All of the information I share here on this channel comes from my times that I've hermited, the times I've spent with my tarot cards, just going through the different cycles and seasons in my life. I'm able to share, you know, from these difficult times I've been through. And I think it's amazing how we can do that, how we can share with others, how it doesn't have to be pointless, the things we go through. We can find our purpose in connecting and sharing and uplifting other people. So what wisdom are you meant to share? They say you're going to have some success with influencing. I'm taking this kind of literally, you know, not everybody's meant to be online and do the whole TikTok thing or whatever. But I think for the group of you guys that chose this, what you need to understand is that the internet and technology as we know it is really going to be changing the next 10, 15 years. Obviously, because of the advancement in AI. So social media as we know it is going to change a lot. So if you don't like the idea of getting in front of a camera, or there's some things that are holding you back about expressing yourself, soon we're all probably going to have some kind of avatar. I don't know. There's going to be, you know, probably become more 3D, how we interact. I mean, gosh, who even knows? It's interesting seeing all the things that are coming out and all the innovations. But what I know is that there's going to be a lot of changes and different ways to interact, different ways to get your artwork out, or to share your gifts, or to get your message out, or whatever. So they're saying you're going to have a lot of success. Everything's lining up for you to be able to share yourself here really soon. And there's a message to follow your intuition. As you're watching this, it's probably coming up in your mind right now. You know, your idea, or this great big step or big leap forward. You've probably always had the same ideas. For me, ever since I was little, I always knew that I wanted to sing. I always knew I wanted to speak. I could just never stop talking. I've always known that I wanted to write. Even before I could write, I was trying to write. I was telling my mom to write down like poems and stuff. Just, you look back and you put it all together, like the core essence of who you are, and there's some things that just remain no matter what. So during these hermit modes, we get to do a little life review. We do get to think a lot back on our life. We do get to think about where we've been and who we've become, maybe sides of ourselves that have been discarded or pushed away so that we can fit into the system or go through school, education, be responsible, get stuff done. But the core elements, the core part of you, it always remains the same. It's still down there, deep. Sometimes it's buried underneath fear and insecurity and shame that other people put on us. So you got to rip away those layers. You got to rip it away, like peeling layers from an onion or looking at a Tootsie Pop until you get to the center or whatever. You're still in there. This indifference where you're just like, oh, the world sucks and everybody's so cringe online, and like if I tried something everyone would just think this, and I just like my privacy, and I don't want to be seen, and blah blah blah. That's indifference, and it does come from, I think it comes from a mixture of being burned out and feeling like there's some kind of unfinished business. Oftentimes the reason we can't launch something new, we can't move forward, we can't just like commit to our path is because there's a part of ourself we haven't allowed to grieve. So we're like holding back because it's like some unfinished business. So sometimes these hermit times, we just gotta grieve. We gotta let ourselves grieve. We have to let ourselves purge things out. We got to get our head back on straight, sometimes focus on our health, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual. And then we start feeling a little bit less indifferent and more like, okay, like I'm ready to get out there. I'm ready to make a difference, It feels like the wisdom that you're meant to share, a lot of it does come from your intuition. I don't think you're necessarily going to be sharing with people about this specific time in your life or what you meant through necessarily. You're more like a firecracker, just exciting type of person who's just meant to share good vibes with other people, and you're energizing. You might be someone who makes other people laugh. You might be someone who just excites other people. You're a good addition to any team. You could be a leader, you could be a follower, you really could do almost anything. But I think for you, the wisdom is more just in the energy, just holding a high energy, holding a high vibe, bringing your uniqueness to every space you go to. So finally, what will your life look like once you return? So once you're out of this hermit mode, you're moving forward, what will your life look like? And this seems very short-lived. Like I said, it's not too long. You'll be back out there soon. What will life look like on the other side? Ooh, look at this, an exciting new opportunity, career advancement. Oh yeah, you're shifting careers. I've definitely been feeling that for you as I've been pulling these cards. Like you're starting your entire life over. And it doesn't matter if it's the right time. I just feel like this path kind of chose you. They're saying that you're going to have more finances later. Yep, and I'm getting a confirmation you've been grieving as well. So, this isn't necessarily on your mind when you're going through grief. So don't think that you're going to be poor in the future, or that because you've only had a certain amount of abundance or had certain types of jobs your whole life that it's not going to get better. There's a career opportunity coming on the other side of this, and then money will start stacking up. And I just keep seeing like a good salary, or feeling like you kind of want to brag a little bit about your tax bracket or something, It just seems like things are going to do better for you. I think think on the other side of this, you're not going to romanticize your past so much. You might be feeling really nostalgic. You might be going through a lot of memories from your history, your childhood, just things that passed you by, or reminiscing on the good old days, or maybe even thinking about that friend that I was talking about earlier, if that resonates. But I see that you don't have to worry so much. Like, yes, you're grieving a lot and things are coming up, but this will not be your mental state forever. So a lot of messages coming up about being like, it's not forever, it's not forever. I just feel like I need to tell you that. Finally, you will be enjoying life's luxuries. You're going to be like buying little things for yourself, taking yourself out. Maybe it's a new car, fancy clothes, something like that. You're going to have more time on your own. You'll feel like I'm good now. This just makes me feel like someone is running their own business or has a stable career. Money is flowing. They're not thinking about the past so much. The grieving process is over. I mean, you can't get any better than that. So I hope that this reading resonates with you. Thank you so much for coming to my channel, and I will see you next time. Peace out. For those of you guys who choose number 3, let's get into this spread. I've got the card that you chose right here, but after that we will freestyle pull some more cards for you as we go through the spread. The first part of the spread is what triggered your withdrawal. So what triggered you to go into this time of hermit mode? And we're pulling the restless card. So, being restless, it's one of the most annoying feelings ever. If you have ADHD, then you're very familiar with this feeling. You're exhausted. Like maybe you're physically exhausted, but your mind is just racing, or vice versa. You know, you're feel mentally exhausted, but your body needs to move. It's a mixture of feeling exhausted, tired, but also bored, and like you want to get out and do something or make something happen. It might be like you have a million different ideas of what you want to do or what direction you want to go in. You're overwhelmed and you just can't choose a path. Could even literally be in a time of insomnia. Let's pull some more clarifiers. A little feeling of intensity. It reminds me of like maybe you're trying, when you get stuck in the next Netflix shuffle. I deleted my Netflix like years ago, but when you get stuck, partly because of this, you get stuck in the Netflix shuffle, you end up sitting there for an hour reading all the things, watching previews, swiping through everything, and you just can't pick anything to watch. It's just that annoying feeling of being just kind of stuck in the middle. Maybe you are stuck in a transition in your life right now. Maybe you don't even want to be in this hermit mode. You want to get out of it. Yeah. You are finding confidence during this time though. It's like you needed to pull back. You needed to find your confidence. You couldn't just push yourself into doing something you weren't ready to do, is the message that I'm giving. You do want to come out in the public. Like, you picture yourself being really successful. You've already had a lot of success in your life. So you want to be out in the public. It's like subconsciously you know that you have this future. Maybe you've had meditations, you've set intentions, you've made vision boards, you've always seen yourself in a certain light. You want to have a certain amount of success or certain type of lifestyle. You want to become more independent. And there's messages here saying it's time for you to come out of hermit mode. I haven't told anybody else that, and you guys are number 3. I didn't tell number 1 that, I didn't tell number 2 that, but I think those of you guys chose number 3. They're almost saying, look, you've been going through this, and it's time to choose to come out of it. So, ooh, your reading's a little different, kind of spicy. But I guess as I look through all these cards, it doesn't seem like there was any big event that caused you to be in hermit mode. It's just you've been here for a while and you've been a little restless, and the only thing that's really been missing is your confidence. It's like somebody who just hasn't been in practice. I used to be a swim teacher. I would never just take a kid who only had like 2 lessons and just throw them in the deep end and try to make them swim. It's like you want to do something, you want to launch something, you want to move forward in your life, you want to try something new. And you keep telling yourself, like, I have to jump in the deep end. I have to jump in the deep end. So you're just putting it off and avoiding it because it's like, that's going to be so intense. I don't even know if I can swim. It's going to be cold. Like, I know, like, I can do it. It's just, you just keep making excuses. You can't commit. Should I go to the deep end of the ocean or the lake or the pool, But really what you need to do is just get in and take some lessons, or just dip your toe in, or just get in up to your knees and wade around, or practice kicking, little things. So maybe it's little habits that need to be built, little routines, but it starts with making a decision. Metaphorically, it starts with being like, I'm going to learn how to swim. So you need to make a decision here, and you need to do little baby steps. You can't just throw yourself in it. You're not just gonna start your healing podcast and commit yourself to filming 10 back-to-back episodes in 1 week and have all these guests. Maybe it's just starting with the plan, writing out the first episode. Maybe it's researching the equipment. It's little things, little things every day. So what are you meant to learn in this solitude? This card's staring at me right now. Yeah, look at this. You're meant to focus on your self-care. This could be one of those little funky depressions where you haven't been taking good care of yourself. This has happened to me before. I'm not gonna lie. Way back in the past, I went through a really difficult depression where my self-care was struggling a little bit. Like, I don't know, I wasn't really taking care of my hair, my skin, eating healthy. It can get bad, So I don't know if that's what's going on with you. Hopefully you don't got your hair all dreaded or, too crusty over there. Hopefully you're not bed rotting so hard there's mold growing in cups around you or something. But look, whatever the situation is, there's a point where we have to realize I am worthy of this self-care. My body is worthy of this. Like, I can treat myself bougie. I can take the extra time to do the body scrub or paint the nails or whatever. This time right now really seems to be for you to take care of your body. I see something about you wanting to transform your body. And maybe the whole deep end thing, that illustration I was giving, that metaphor, was more about you thinking, I gotta hit the gym 2 hours a day or else it's just not even worth it, But maybe you need to start with just walking. I do think you're going to be learning more about how to take care of your body well, so that you will gain more confidence and also have the energy to do what you need to do. Because you are getting ready to work really hard. You could have a desire or a dream to move. It could be something like, I'm going to move to the city and I'm going to make a name for myself kind of energy. So if you're just sitting on the couch drinking soda, flipping through TV channels, I mean, obviously that's an intense metaphor. But if you're going to go from that to like being a boss person in the city, there's a lot that's got to change. You're going to have to turn the TV off, put the soda down, you're going to have to drink water, you have to go on walks, you're going to have to get yourself together, get a haircut, get a suit, like, you know what I mean? Work on the resume, just save up the money to move. It's like a whole thing. This moon here is talking about somebody who has a really big dream to literally change their entire life. It's like where you see yourself in the future and where you're at right now is just so different. You got to love yourself in the moment. But you got to start realizing I'm worthy of these dreams I have. I have to start treating myself like that version of me that I want to become. So that means starting to live that lifestyle now. For me, when I decided I wanted to do YouTube, I had to start treating myself like that version of myself I wanted to become, which was somebody, a YouTuber. So I had to actually get organized, come up with ideas for my videos, get my cards out, take good care of myself, paint the nails, do the yoga, get grounded, meditate, make sure I'm in a good mental space, get things on a schedule, routine. There's so much funny that goes into it. Honestly, this channel right now for me, you guys, is just I'm just expressing myself. I don't, I'm just expressing myself. My channel is shadow banned, and I'm not really going to be going on TikTok or anything like that right now, trying to grow it, get more views. Like, I'm happy with where it's at. I'm happy with where I've grown to. But if I wanted to build it and I'm like, let's get 1 million subs and let's go hard and let's like launch stuff or whatever, if that was my goal, I would have to step into the shoes of that person I want to be. I would have to basically, schedule everything out, plan it all, go for that, make that the goal, make that the intention. So sometimes you got to think about where you actually want to be. If you were like, I just want to get my first 1,000 subscribers, I just want to get my first client, I just want to get my first semester of college under my belt, I just want to get, I want to lose this certain amount of weight, or I want to gain this amount of fitness or this type of health. You got to start there and get to that next step. The way that you're going to get there is through dedication. It's through discipline. It's through showing up every day. For me, it was showing up when I only had 10 people watching my videos. It was me showing up when I had 30,000 people, 50,000, 100 people, 1,000 people watching my videos. And then back down to just like 500 people. You got to participate. You got to keep going if it's something you want to do. No matter how many people are watching, no matter what's going on, no matter if you get shadow banned, no matter if this happens or that happens, you have to know what your goals are, Sometimes you have to learn to do something just because it feels right to you, just because that's what's, important. I guess the message I'm trying to get through here to you is that the real thing you're going to be learning here is how to do the work that's necessary to bridge the gap between where you are right now and where it is that you want to go. I've got this card over here too, which is saying that you feel like you're lacking inspiration, the well reversed. I think the self-care is going to help you feel like, sometimes we don't feel like we're worthy to even have a dream. Sometimes we don't think that we're worthy to even dare to say, this is my goal. Sometimes we feel a little timid or embarrassed. I think working on your body, the dedication to your body every day, the dedication to the gym, the dedication to the walks or the yoga or the healthy eating, whatever that is, to me it feels like you're getting so focused on that it's helping you to move that focus to another area of your life. Commit to these dreams, these goals, you moving, you traveling, you manifesting this new lifestyle or this new level up in your life. So yeah, you're learning so much about that. So honestly, I kind of forgot where we were at in the spread and I don't feel like stopping the video because I'm kind of on a roll, but I'm just going to pull some more cards. Hopefully we're moving on to what wisdom are you meant to share. I think I just feel like I'm supposed to pull more for that. I think you're going to be teaching people how to plant seeds, how to start something. There's a lot of people who kind of teeter on the edge for a really long time of having some really great gifts or some really great talents. But if you just rely on your blind talent, there's going to be a certain point where people are going to stop caring, where if you're out of practice, you're not even going to be able to enjoy, doing this thing you love, and things just kind of wither away. So planting a seed is about putting something out there. It's as simple as filling out that application. It's as simple as filling out that profile to start that social media. It's as simple as making that phone call or writing the business plan or making the vision board. It's a physical act, like to, it's like the first nail in the ground of the foundation. It's the first seed that's planted. So I think for you, that's what you're going to be teaching other people how to do, or people are going to watch you do that. I think there will be some people around you who might think, oh, wow, they finally did that. Or wow, look at them out there finally sharing their gifts. Maybe everybody always knew you from school as that kid who was really good at like science, who was really good in the lab, who was like really smart in like chemistry, and then maybe you kind of like disappeared a little bit and then you come back with some crazy invention. Maybe you've always been known for having really cool style and expressing yourself in that way and being really unique, and finally you decide to start sharing your outfits and your posts and doing fashion stuff. People from your past, people you've known, might see you and think, wow, they like finally did that thing, and look at them go. So you never know who's around you, who's watching. Do it for yourself, but it feels like there might be some people who see you coming out, planting that seed, and show up to support you, and they decide to plant their own seeds as well. Also, that restless energy from the beginning of the reading makes me think that you're going to be learning how to take stuff off your plate, how to delegate more, and how to ask people for help. I think this is about your family, who you're living with, people around you. It might just be that you have to set some boundaries and say, look, I can't share that Netflix, Hulu, whatever account with you anymore. You got to start paying me $5 a month. Or like, I keep feeling something like people owe you money, like you're really generous. You need to start investing in yourself more, and maybe stop giving so much, even though it's a great thing to do. It's just, maybe it's too much. I keep getting, you're going to have to collaborate with other people. You're going to have to ask questions. You have to interact with more people. It's interesting. Yeah, let's move on to what will your life look like once you return. So once you're out of hermit mode, once you're kind of out of hiding, solitude, what is your life going to look like? We got so many cards. They're saying, yeah, there's definitely something about a big move coming up, like that crazy life change you've been wanting to do, just from A to Z overnight. Or like, it just feels to me like the person who goes from the small town to the big city, or vice versa. Maybe you're leaving the city and getting your animal rescue farm going or something like that. It just feels to me like it's like, hello world, this is me. I'm out here, I'm doing my thing, I'm not hiding anymore kind of energy. I also see that your idea of like what you're going to end up doing could be tweaked a little bit. Like, for instance, maybe you want to start a blog, but you end up doing a podcast. Or maybe you think that you're going to be speaking to others, but you end up doing a lot of writing. Maybe you think that you want to do like nails professionally, but you end up doing like lashes instead. Just, it's something like that. Like, you might move into something a little bit adjacent, but it's going to be still with your interest and expertise. So you're going to learn a lot more about these goals you have and find your specific area you can be plugged into. Good news about financial matters. You will be able to take a course or go back to studying or learn what you need to learn or invest in something for your toolkit. Maybe it could even be supplies, things that you need, technical equipment, something like that to help you move forward. On the other side of this, there's a lot of abundance. They're saying things are going to look good. You'll be able to plan your even more distant future. So imagine you're going to be able to build yourself a little rainbow bridge over where you're at right now to where you want to go, like we were talking about. And look at this. Their final message is, do not give up. You need to protect what you've already created. Believe in yourself. There's some seeds you've already planted a while ago that could be sprouting now too. This is a message to you to keep planting your seeds. I hope that this resonated with you. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I got a little fried on this last one. I forgot like which cards I pulled, or what part of this spread I pulled for and not. But whatever came out, I hope it's still helpful for you. I try not to delete anything that I say. Sometimes I just channel stuff and it was meant to be. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again here soon on the channel. Peace out.